The phone buzzes at 2:17 in the morning. Dante Moretti doesn't move from his position behind the mahogany desk. 3 bodies lie cooling in the warehouse below his office, testament to what happens when people steal from him. Blood still stains his knuckles despite washing his hands twice. The phone buzzes again. He ignores it. Business calls can wait until morning. Right now, he's reviewing ledgers that will determine which of his lieutenants gets to keep breathing past sunrise. The numbers don't lie, and neither do the security cameras that caught Marco skimming $30,000 from the Brooklyn collections. The third buzz comes with a notification tone he doesn't recognize. Not his business line, not his personal contacts. Dante picks up the phone, exhaustion making his vision blur slightly. The number is unfamiliar. Local area code, but that means nothing in his world. The message loads slowly, and when it does, Dante's blood turns cold. Please help, my mama is hurt bad and I don't know what to do. She's breathing funny, and there's blood. Below the text is a photo. Blurry, taken with shaking hands, but clear enough. A woman lies on a kitchen floor, dark hair spread around her head like a halo. Blood pools beneath her shoulder. Her face is turned away from the camera, but Dante can see the unnatural angle of her body, the stillness that suggests unconscious or worse. Another message appears. Please, I'm scared and I can't call 911 because Mama said never call police. Please help us. Dante stares at the screen. In 20 years of running the Moretti family, he's seen countless appeals for mercy, desperate pleas from people who made the mistake of crossing him. This feels different. The misspelled words, the child's grammar, the genuine terror bleeding through each message. He types back before he can stop himself. Who is this? How did you get this number? The response comes within seconds. I found Mama's phone and your number was the last one she called yesterday. Please, 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 she won't wake up. And I'm only 7, I don't know what to do. If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. Dante's mind races. Someone called his private number yesterday. He scrolls through his call log. 3 minutes past noon. Incoming call. Duration 4 minutes and 38 seconds. He'd been in a meeting with the cartellis, negotiating territory boundaries. He'd let it go to voicemail, meaning to check it later, then forgot when the negotiations turned heated. The voicemail is still there unopened. Dante clicks it, pressing the phone tight against his ear. A woman's voice, breathless and frightened. Mr. Moretti, this is Olivia Chun. I'm sorry to bother you, but I need to talk to you about something important. Something from 8 years ago. I know you probably don't remember me, but please, if you get this message, call me back. It's urgent. It's about... The message cuts off abruptly. Not ended naturally, but terminated mid-sentence, as if the phone had been knocked from her hand or grabbed away. Olivia Chun. The name tugs at something in Dante's memory, faint and distant. 8 years ago puts him back to a different life, before he fully inherited the family business, when his father still controlled most operations, and Dante was learning the ropes through legitimate businesses that fronted their real income. 8 years ago, he was managing the hospital construction project. Tens of millions funneled through shell companies, union contracts negotiated with threats and bribes, inspectors paid to look the other way. It had been Dante's first major responsibility, his chance to prove he could handle the pressure and complexity of big operations. Olivia Chun had been the architect's assistant. Young, brilliant, fresh out of graduate school with ideals still intact. She'd questioned some of the construction shortcuts, raised concerns about safety violations, pushed back when contractors submitted inflated invoices for materials that were never delivered. Dante had noticed her immediately, not just because she was beautiful, though she was, dark hair and intelligent eyes and a smile that made him forget about the darkness surrounding his life, but because she was honest in a world built on lies, brave enough to question men who could destroy her career with a single phone call. They talked during late-night inspections when she stayed behind to review blueprints. Started with work, expanded to life, philosophy, dreams. For 3 months, Dante had pretended he could be someone different. Someone who built hospitals instead of running criminal empires. Someone who could take a woman like Olivia to dinner without worrying about enemies using her as leverage. The affair ended when his father found out. Marco Moretti didn't approve of distractions. especially not distractions that asked too many questions and paid too much attention to details that were supposed to stay hidden. The old man had been blunt. End it now, or Olivia Chen would have an unfortunate accident on one of those construction sites she was always inspecting. Dante had ended it. Coldly, brutally, telling Olivia she'd been an amusing diversion but nothing more. He'd watched her cry, watched her walk away from the project, watched her disappear from his life entirely. It had been necessary. It had been survival. It had been the moment Dante Moretti fully accepted what he was and stopped pretending he could be anything else. Now, 8 years later, Olivia Chen is bleeding out on a kitchen floor while her 7-year-old daughter texts a stranger for help. Dante types quickly, "What's your address?" The response comes immediately, a street address in Red Hook. One of the rougher neighborhoods, where police response times are slow and people mind their own business. Exactly the kind of place someone goes when they're hiding. Stay with your mother, keep her warm if you have blankets, put them on her, don't try to move her, I'm coming. Dante stands, his body moving on autopilot while his mind processes implications. Someone hurt Olivia badly enough that she can't wake up, badly enough that a 7-year-old is terrified and alone. The same Olivia who called him yesterday talking about something from 8 years ago, something important enough to reach out to a man she must know is dangerous. He grabs his keys, his gun, the medical kit he keeps in the office safe, because in his business, injuries are inevitable and hospitals ask too many questions. His bodyguard, Luca, appears in the doorway, drawn by the sudden movement. "Boss, the situation downstairs is handled, but we should talk about Marco before, not now. I'm going out." Luca's eyes narrow. "Alone? At this hour? That's not safe." "I didn't ask your opinion." Dante pushes past him, already descending the stairs that lead from his office to the warehouse floor. The 3 bodies are wrapped in plastic sheeting now, ready for disposal. Tommaso and Vince stay on guard, their hands still bloody from the work. "Boss needs something?" Tommaso asks. "I need you to stay here. Clean this up. Deal with Marco when he arrives for his shift tomorrow. Make sure he understands that stealing from me has consequences." "Where are you going?" Vincent's question carries an edge of concern. In their world, bosses don't disappear alone in the middle of the night. Not without backup, not without security, not without planning. Personal business. The tone in Dante's voice ends the conversation. He's halfway to his car before Luca catches up. "Boss, at least let me drive you." "Whatever this is, I said alone, Luca." The drive to Red Hook takes 18 minutes. Dante navigates empty streets, his mind replaying that voicemail. Olivia had said something from 8 years ago. Something urgent. The timing suggests she wasn't just calling to reminisce about their brief relationship. She'd found something, learned something, needed something. And then someone had hurt her badly enough to leave her unconscious while her daughter hid in terror. The building is a 3-story walk-up that's seen better decades. Graffiti covers the ground floor, several windows are boarded up, and the front door hangs crooked on its hinges. Dante parks across the street, scanning for threats. The neighborhood is quiet, but that doesn't mean safe. Quiet often means people are watching from behind curtains, waiting to see what happens next. His phone buzzes. "We're in apartment 2B, please hurry." Dante crosses the street, gun tucked into the waistband of his pants where he can reach it quickly. The building's interior smells like mildew and desperation. Stairs creak under his weight. Somewhere above, a baby cries, then falls silent. A television plays too loud, can laughter echoing through thin walls. Apartment 2B sits at the end of a narrow hallway. The door is closed but not locked. Dante pushes it open slowly, every instinct screaming that this could be a trap. Olivia calls him after 8 years, gets hurt. Her daughter conveniently has access to his number. The setup is almost too perfect. But then he sees the child. She's tiny, dark hair tangled around a face streaked with dried tears. Oversized t-shirt hanging to her knees, bare feet, eyes that are far too old for 7 years. She sits on the floor beside her mother, one small hand resting on Olivia's arm as if touch alone could keep her alive. The resemblance to Olivia is unmistakable, same delicate features, same determined set to her jaw even in fear. But there's something else in her face, something that makes Dante's breath catch. The angle of her cheekbones, the shape of her eyes, the way she holds herself with unconscious dignity despite being terrified. She looks like him. The child, his daughter, his mind supplies with devastating certainty, sees him and scrambles to her feet. Are you the man from the phone? Can you help my mama? Please, she won't wake up and I'm really scared. Dante moves past her, dropping to his knees beside Olivia. Up close, the damage is severe. Gunshot wound to the shoulder, entrance but no exit, meaning the bullet is still inside. Her breathing is shallow, pulse weak but present. She's lost significant blood, but she's alive. He pulls the medical kit from his jacket, working with practiced efficiency. Pressure bandage first, direct compression on the wound. Olivia doesn't even flinch, which means she's deep in shock. He needs to get her to a hospital, but hospitals mean questions, police reports, investigations into how a woman ended up shot in a Red Hook apartment. What's your name? Dante asks the child while his hands work. Maya. Her voice trembles but doesn't break. Maya Chun. Maya, I need you to help me. Can you do that? She nods immediately, stepping closer despite the blood, despite the fear. Brave girl. Her mother's courage wrapped in a 7-year-old's body. I need you to bring me all the towels you can find. Clean ones if you have them. And fill a bowl with warm water, not hot, just warm. Maya runs to obey. Dante continues working on Olivia, his mind cataloging injuries beyond the gunshot. Bruising on her jaw suggests someone hit her. Defensive wounds on her hands show she fought back. This wasn't random violence. Someone came here specifically to hurt her, specifically to keep her quiet about whatever she discovered. Maya returns with 3 thin towels and a chipped bowl of water. She sets them down carefully, then returns to her vigil beside her mother. Is Mama going to die? The question is delivered with heartbreaking matter-of-factness, as if death is something Maya has already learned to accept as a possibility. No child should sound that resigned to loss. Not if I can help it. Dante means it. Whatever Olivia knew, whatever she called to tell him, he needs her alive to explain. Needs her alive because the alternative, leaving Maya orphaned, is unacceptable in ways he doesn't want to examine too closely. He cleans the wound as best he can, applies antiseptic that will sting if Olivia were conscious enough to feel it, secures a fresh bandage. The bullet needs to come out by someone with surgical skills, but this will stabilize her for transport. Maya, does your mama have a phone charger? Her phone is almost dead. Maya points to an outlet across the room. Dante retrieves Olivia's phone, plugs it in, and begins scrolling through recent activity. Calls, messages, photos. He's looking for anything that explains what happened here. What he finds makes his blood run cold. Photos of documents, shipping manifests, financial records, names and dates that connect dots Dante himself didn't know existed. Olivia had been investigating something, digging into records that should have been buried deep. And she'd uncovered evidence of something that went beyond his family, beyond their operations, into territory controlled by people who made the Morettis look merciful by comparison. The Volkov Bratva, Russian organized crime with roots deeper than the Italian families, more violent, less bound by the old rules that still govern Dante's world. They specialized in trafficking, weapons, drugs, people, and they didn't tolerate threats to their business. Olivia had somehow discovered their entire East Coast operation. Routes, warehouses, key players, protection payments. Everything laid out in photos that could destroy a multi-billion-dollar criminal empire. And judging by the gunshot wound currently threatening her life, the Volkovs had discovered that she knew. Maya, Dante says carefully, did anyone else come here tonight? Before your mama got hurt? The child's face goes pale. 2 men. They were yelling at Mama, asking her questions about papers and computers. Mama told me to hide in the closet, but I could hear everything. They said she was asking the wrong questions, looking into things that weren't her business. Mama said she just wanted to protect me, that she needed to know if they were dangerous. Protect me. The words echo in Dante's mind. Olivia hadn't been investigating the Volkovs for profit or revenge. She'd been trying to determine if the men who controlled her neighborhood, who ran their criminal empire blocks from where she lived, posed a threat to her daughter. To their daughter. Because standing here, looking at Maya's face, recognizing his own features staring back at him, Dante knows with absolute certainty that this child is his. The timeline matches. The resemblance is undeniable. And Olivia's urgent phone call about something from 8 years ago suddenly makes devastating sense. She'd been trying to tell him he had a daughter, trying to warn him that their daughter was in danger from the same criminal world he inhabited, trying to ask for protection from a man who might be the only person powerful enough to stand against the Volkovs. And he'd been too busy dealing with stolen money and small-time thieves to answer his phone. Dante stands, decision crystallizing. Olivia needs a hospital, but not just any hospital. She needs somewhere the Volkovs can't reach her, somewhere their network of corrupt doctors and paid-off administrators can't finish what their gunmen started. And Maya needs to disappear completely before the men who shot her mother realize they left a witness alive. Maya, we need to leave now. I'm going to take your mama somewhere safe where doctors can help her. But what about me? Where will I go? The fear in her voice is raw, primal. Dante looks at this child, his daughter, standing in a blood-stained apartment, trying to be brave while her world crumbles. He thinks about the empire he built, the violence he commands, the darkness that surrounds everything he touches. Bringing Maya into his life means exposing her to exactly the kind of danger Olivia was trying to investigate. But leaving her here means abandoning her to worse. The Volkovs know about Olivia. They'll realize she has a daughter. They'll come back to eliminate that loose end. Maya's only chance at survival is protection Dante can provide. "You're coming with me," he says, the words feeling both inevitable and terrifying. "Both of you. And no one is going to hurt either of you again." Maya studies his face for a long moment. 7 years old, but her eyes hold the wisdom of someone who's already learned that adults lie, that promises break, that safety is an illusion. "Promise!" Dante kneels down to her level. Up close, the resemblance is even more striking. This is his daughter, his child, the family he never knew existed. "I promise, Maya. And when I make promises, I keep them." She nods slowly, then asks the question that changes everything. "Are you my daddy?" The words hang in the blood-stained air. Dante looks at Maya, really looks at her, seeing not just Olivia's delicate features but his own eyes, his own stubborn jaw, his own refusal to back down even in the face of fear. "Yes," he says quietly. "I think I am." Maya's face transforms. Not with joy exactly, but with relief, as if a question she's carried her entire life has finally been answered. "Mama said if anything bad happened, I should find you. She said you were the strongest, scariest man she ever met, but also the only one who could keep us safe." The strongest, scariest man. Olivia had understood exactly what Dante was, even 8 years ago when he was still learning to embrace the darkness. She'd known he was dangerous, known he was violent, known he operated outside every moral boundary normal people respected. And she'd still marked him as the person to protect their daughter when danger came calling. Dante stands, gently lifting Olivia's unconscious form. She weighs almost nothing, body fragile in his arms. Maya grabs a small backpack from the corner, stuffing it with clothes and a worn teddy bear. Her entire life reduced to things that fit in a child's bag. "Ready?" Dante asks. Maya takes one last look at the apartment, the home where she grew up, the life she's leaving behind. Then she nods, reaching up to grab Dante's jacket. "I'm ready, Daddy." The word hits him like a physical blow. Daddy, a title he never expected to earn, a responsibility he never prepared for. But walking out of that apartment with his daughter's hand clutching his jacket and her mother bleeding in his arms, Dante Moretti understands something fundamental has shifted. He built an empire on fear. Now he'll defend his family with the same ruthless determination. And God help anyone who tries to stop him. Dante's mansion sits on 12 acres of protected land in Westchester, hidden behind walls that could stop a tank and security systems that rival government installations. He's never brought anyone innocent here before. The estate exists as a fortress, a command center, a place where violence is planned and power is consolidated. Not a home. Never a home. Until tonight. Maya falls asleep in the car somewhere around the George Washington Bridge, her small head resting against the window, one hand still clutching her backpack. Dante watches her in the rear-view mirror, this impossible child who shares his blood, and feels something crack in his chest. She trusted him so completely, so immediately. Fell asleep in the car with a man she just met because he said he was her father and promised to keep her safe. The weight of that trust is heavier than any criminal empire. Olivia remains unconscious beside him in the passenger seat. Her breathing has stabilized, but the bandages are soaked through. She needs surgery within hours, or the bullet will cause permanent damage. Dante already has his private doctor on standby, a skilled surgeon who asks no questions and keeps no records. Dr. Castellano has patched up more gunshot wounds than most emergency room physicians, and his loyalty to the Moretti family is absolute. The gates open automatically as Dante approaches. Motion sensors, facial recognition, pressure plates in the driveway that detect vehicle weight. 6 cameras track his progress from the street to the main house. In the security room, his night staff will be watching, noting the unusual hour, the unexpected passengers. Luca meets him at the front entrance, concern etched across his weathered face. "Boss, what the hell? Get Dr. Castellano here now. Gunshot wound, still has the bullet. And wake up Maria. Tell her to prepare the East Wing guest suite. 2 rooms, connected, 1 for an adult, 1 for a child." Luca's eyes widen as he registers Maya sleeping in the back seat. "Boss, is that my daughter?" Dante says it clearly, letting the words sink in. "Her name is Maya. She's 7 years old. And if anyone in my organization has a problem with her being here, they can discuss it with me personally." The threat is implicit but unmistakable. Luca nods slowly, already pulling out his phone. "Understood. And the woman?" "Her mother. She's under my protection. Anyone who touches her answers to me." Dante lifts Maya carefully from the car. She barely stirs, just shifts to press, her face against his shoulder. She smells like cheap soap and childhood innocence, scents that don't belong in his world of gun smoke and blood money. But she's here now, and that means his world has to adapt. Inside, the mansion sprawls in all directions. Marble floors that echo footsteps, crystal chandeliers that cost more than most people earn in a year, art on the walls worth millions. The entrance hall alone could fit Maya's entire apartment 3 times over. This display of wealth, this monument to his criminal success, suddenly feels obscene. Maria appears at the top of the grand staircase, her gray hair hastily pinned back, bathrobe wrapped tight. She's been the mansion's housekeeper for 15 years, has cleaned blood off these floors, has disposed of evidence, has kept secrets that could destroy families. But she stops dead when she sees the child in Dante's arms. "Madre de Dios," she whispers. "This is Maya," Dante says simply. "She'll be staying here. Indefinitely." Maria descends the stairs slowly, her eyes locked on Maya's sleeping face. "She looks like you. The eyes, the jaw. She's yours. It's not a question." Maria has known Dante since he was barely older than Maya, has watched him transform from his father's son into his own man. She sees what others might miss. "Yes. And I need you to help me keep her safe." Something softens in Maria's expression. In all her years serving the Moretti family, she's never seen Dante with a child. Never seen him gentle, protective, vulnerable. The rooms are ready. Dr. Castellano called ahead. He'll be here in 10 minutes. He's bringing a surgical nurse. Dante carries Maya upstairs to the East Wing, a part of the mansion he rarely enters. These rooms were meant for family, for the wife and children he never planned to have. The suite Maria prepared is perfect. Soft colors, comfortable furniture, none of the cold elegance that dominates the rest of the house. He lays Maya on the bed carefully. She curls immediately into a ball seeking warmth. Maria appears with extra blankets, tucking them around the child with practiced care. "She'll need clothes, toiletries, everything a 7-year-old needs," Dante says. "First thing tomorrow, get whatever she requires. Spare no expense." "Of course." Maria studies him. "What about school? Friends? A child needs more than just safety, Mr. Moretti." Dante hadn't thought that far ahead. His mind has been focused on immediate threats, the Volkovs, the gunshot wound, getting Maya somewhere secure. But Maria's right. A 7-year-old needs structure, normalcy, things his world of violence and criminal enterprise can't provide. "We'll figure it out," he says, the words feeling inadequate. In the adjacent room, Dr. Castellano has already begun setting up his equipment. The surgeon is in his 60s, hand still steady, mind still sharp. He takes one look at Olivia's wound and shakes his head. Through and through would have been better. The bullets lodged near the shoulder blade. I'll need to operate immediately. Do whatever it takes, Dante orders. She lives, understand? I understand. Dr. Castellano's tone is professional, but his eyes hold questions. In 15 years of treating Moretti family injuries, he's never seen Dante this invested in a patient's survival. The surgery takes 3 hours. Dante spends them pacing the hallway outside, checking on Maya every 15 minutes, his mind racing through implications and consequences. The Volkovs know about Olivia. They'll be looking for her, and when they discover she's missing, they'll expand their search. Eventually, they'll learn about Dante's involvement. And when they do, this becomes war. The Volkov Bratva isn't like the Italian families. They don't respect territories or honor old agreements. They operate on pure brutality, eliminating threats with overwhelming force. Taking in Olivia and Maya means declaring himself an enemy to one of the most violent criminal organizations on the East Coast. But watching Maya sleep, remembering her small hand clutching his jacket, Dante knows he'd make the same choice again. Some things are worth fighting for. Some people are worth protecting, even if it costs everything. Dr. Castellano emerges at 4:30 in the morning, blood on his surgical gown, exhaustion in his eyes. The bullet's out. No major organ damage, but she lost significant blood. I've given her 2 units, started her on antibiotics. She should wake in the next few hours. Relief floods through Dante. Thank you. She's going to need time to recover. The shoulder will take weeks to heal properly, and there's psychological trauma to consider. Gunshot wounds aren't just physical. Dante nods. He knows about trauma, about the way violence marks people permanently. Whatever she needs, she gets it. Dr. Castellano starts packing his equipment. Mr. Moretti, I've known you a long time. I've never seen you like this. These people, the woman and child, they matter to you. They're my family, Dante says. The words feel strange but true. The only family that matters. Dawn breaks as Dr. Castellano leaves. Dante checks on Maya again, still sleeping, peaceful, unaware that her entire life has changed. Then he sits in the chair beside Olivia's bed, watching her breathe, waiting for her to wake up and explain everything. The room is silent except for the beep of medical monitors. Olivia looks smaller in the hospital bed Maria brought up from storage, more fragile than he remembers. 8 years ago, she'd been vibrant, confident, challenging him on construction decisions with the kind of fearlessness that came from believing in right and wrong. Now she's pale, wounded, having survived an assassination attempt while trying to protect their daughter from dangers he helped create. I'm sorry, Dante whispers to her unconscious form. I should have answered your call. Should have protected you better. Should have known you might need me. Olivia doesn't respond. But somewhere in the house, Maya stirs in her sleep, and Dante knows that whatever comes next, he'll face it. For them. For the family he never knew he had and can't imagine living without. Underscore 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 underscore. The sun is fully up when Maya wakes. Dante hears her moving in the next room, small footsteps on hardwood floors, the rustle of unfamiliar blankets. He's on his feet immediately, moving to the doorway that connects the rooms. Maya stands by the window, staring out at the manicured grounds that stretch in every direction. The backyard alone is bigger than any park she's probably seen. Swimming pool, tennis courts, gardens that require a full-time staff to maintain. It's a different world entirely from the cramped Red Hook apartment. This is your house. Her voice is small and certain. Yes. It's your house now, too, if you want it to be. She turns to face him. In daylight, the resemblance is even more striking. She has his dark eyes, his strong eyebrows, the same way of tilting her head when considering something carefully. But her gentler features, the softness around her eyes, that's all Olivia. Is Mama okay? The doctor operated last night. She's going to be fine, but she needs to rest. Relief washes across Maya's face. Can I see her? Dante leads her to the adjacent room. Olivia lies still, breathing steadily, color slowly returning to her cheeks. Maya climbs onto the bed carefully, curling up beside her mother without disturbing any of the medical equipment. "Mama," she whispers, "we're somewhere safe now. The man from the phone, the one who's my daddy, he brought us to his house. It's really big and nice. You're going to love it when you wake up." Watching his daughter comfort her unconscious mother, Dante feels emotion threaten to overwhelm him. This child has been through trauma that would break most adults, yet she's still trying to take care of someone else. Still finding hope in darkness. Still believing things will be okay. She's stronger than he is in ways that matter. Maria appears in the doorway with a breakfast tray. "I thought the little one might be hungry." Maya's eyes light up at the sight of food: scrambled eggs, toast, fresh fruit, orange juice. Real food, prepared with care, not the donated meals from the shelter or whatever Olivia could afford on her limited budget. "Thank you," Maya says politely, her manners impeccable despite her circumstances. "You're very welcome, Pequeña. I'm Maria. I take care of this house and the people in it. That includes you now." Maya eats slowly, savoring each bite. Dante watches, making mental notes. She's too thin, her clothes are worn, her shoes have holes. Olivia was doing her best, but raising a child alone on a nurse's salary in New York is nearly impossible. And after losing her job 8 months ago, they've been surviving, not living. That ends now. "Maya," Dante says gently, "Maria is going to take you shopping today. We need to get you clothes, shoes, whatever you need." Panic flashes across Maya's face. "But what about Mama? I can't leave her." "Your Mama will be right here, safe. I'll stay with her the entire time. And Maria will have you back in a few hours. Promise you'll watch her? Promise you won't let anything bad happen?" Dante kneels beside the bed, meeting Maya's eyes directly. "I promise. Nothing, and no one will hurt either of you while I'm alive." Maya studies his face for a long moment, then nods. "Okay, but if Mama wakes up, you have to tell her I was good and that I didn't want to leave her." "I'll tell her." After Maya leaves with Maria, Dante returns to Olivia's bedside. His phone has been buzzing constantly, messages from his lieutenants, questions about the bodies in the warehouse, concerns about Marco's punishment, business that needs attention. He ignores all of it. Right now, his business is here, protecting the woman who tried to warn him about danger, waiting for her to wake up and fill in the gaps he's missing. The Volkovs won't wait long. Their network is extensive, their intelligence gathering sophisticated. Someone will have noticed Olivia's disappearance, tracked down witnesses who saw Dante carry her from the apartment. The clock is ticking on how much time he has before they come looking. Dante makes 3 calls. First to Vincent, his most trusted lieutenant. "I need a full workup on the Volkov Bratva. Leadership structure, operations, vulnerabilities. Everything we have and everything we can get." "Boss, the Volkovs? That's going to start a war." "The war's already started. They just don't know it yet." Second call to his intelligence specialist, Paolo. "I need surveillance on a Red Hook apartment building. 2 men came there last night, shot a woman, left her for dead. I want faces, names, vehicles, everything. Use whatever resources necessary." "On it. Anything else?" "Yeah. Find out if the Volkovs know the woman survived, and if they know where she is now." Third call to his lawyer, a man who specializes in making problems disappear. "I need paperwork, custody documents, birth certificates, school enrollment forms. For a 7-year-old girl named Maya Chen. I want everything legal, everything official, everything that says she's mine and under my protection." "Mr. Moretti, that kind of paperwork takes time too. You have 48 hours. After that, I find someone who can work faster." The lawyer's silence speaks volumes. "Understood. I'll need information, mother's name, child's current documentation, proof of paternity. DNA test will be on your desk by tonight. Mother's name is Olivia Chen. And make sure the paperwork is bulletproof. I don't want any legal challenges to custody. Because that's what this comes down to. Maya is his daughter. Legally, officially, he needs to establish that fact. Partly to protect her if something happens to Olivia. Partly to send a message to anyone who might threaten her. And partly because after 7 years of not knowing she existed, Dante refuses to lose another second of her life. If you're hooked on this story, Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. Olivia stirs around noon. Her eyes flutter open, unfocused at first, then sharpening as she registers unfamiliar surroundings. The medical equipment, the expensive furniture, the man sitting beside her bed. Her hand immediately goes to her shoulder, feeling the bandages, the lingering pain of surgery. Maya, she croaks, trying to sit up. Where's Maya? Safe. Dante's voice stops her movement. Shopping with my housekeeper. She's fine, Olivia. She's not hurt. Olivia's eyes find his face, and recognition floods through her. Dante, you came. She texted you, didn't she? She did, and I came immediately. Tears spill down Olivia's cheeks. I tried calling you yesterday. I needed to warn you about the Volkovs, needed to tell you about Maya, needed, her voice breaks. They shot me. In my own apartment. They said I was asking too many questions, digging into things that would get me killed. What were you investigating? Dante keeps his voice gentle, but he needs answers. Olivia takes a shaky breath. 6 months ago, I started noticing things in our neighborhood. Men who watched the corners, money changing hands, women who looked scared. I thought maybe it was drugs, something the police could handle. But then I recognized one of the men from the hospital project. Dante's attention sharpens. From 8 years ago. He was one of the contractors you worked with. I remembered him because he gave me the creeps, always staring, always making comments. I saw him in Red Hook, managing some kind of shipment, and I realized whatever operation was running through that hospital construction project, it's still running. Bigger now, more dangerous. The pieces clicked together. The hospital project had been one of old Marco Moretti's schemes, using construction as cover for money laundering and weapons trafficking. Dante had assumed when his father died 3 years ago, those connections had dissolved. Apparently, not. Someone had kept the network alive, expanded it, and the Volkovs had taken over operations. You started documenting it, Dante says. Not a question. I took photos, wrote down names, tracked movements. I thought if I could gather enough evidence, I could go to someone who could stop it. But I didn't know who to trust. The police in our precinct are clearly paid off. Social workers wouldn't believe me. So I thought about you. Me? Dante's voice is flat. You thought I could help. I know what you are, Dante. I've always known. But you're also the only person I ever met who scared me and made me feel safe at the same time. And Maya deserved to know her father, deserved to have someone powerful enough to protect her from the world I was uncovering. The admission hangs between them. 8 years ago, Olivia had understood exactly who Dante was and chose to be with him anyway. And now, facing mortal danger, she'd reached out to him again. Not because she expected love or redemption, but because she knew he'd protect what was his. The documents you photographed, Dante says. Do you have copies? On a flash drive, hidden in Maya's teddy bear, the one she brought with her. I sewed it into the stuffing. Smart. Dante feels respect for this woman, who thought like someone from his world despite living in a different one entirely. Why didn't you tell me about Maya before? When you first found out you were pregnant. Olivia's eyes fill with fresh tears. Because I was terrified you'd take her from me. You have money, power, lawyers who could prove I was an unfit mother just by pointing to my bank account. I thought if I stayed quiet, stayed away, I could give her a normal life. A safe life. Did you? The question comes out harsher than intended. Was she safe growing up in Red Hook? Was she safe when you lost your job and ended up homeless? Was she safe when the Volkovs came to your apartment with guns? Olivia flinches. I did my best. I worked every shift I could get, saved every penny, tried to give her stability. And yes, we struggled, but she was happy. She was loved. She knew she mattered. I could have helped. All these years, I could have. Could have what? Olivia's voice gains strength despite her injuries. Could have brought her into your world of violence and crime. Could have taught her that power comes from fear. Could have made her a target for every enemy you've ever made. The accusations hit their mark. Because Olivia's right. Bringing Maya into his life means exactly those things. The mansion, the security, the comfortable life. None of it changes the fundamental danger of being connected to Dante Moretti. She's in that world now, Dante says quietly. The moment I walked into your apartment, the moment she became visible as my daughter, she became a target. You can hate me for it, but it's done. Olivia closes her eyes. I don't hate you. I'm just scared. For her. For what this life will do to her. Then we protect her together. You know the Volkovs, what they're doing, who they're connected to. I have the resources to fight them. We use both. This is insane. We can't go to war with the Russian mob. They shot you in front of our daughter. They would have killed you if Maya hadn't been brave enough to text me. They've already declared war, Olivia. I'm just responding. She studies his face, seeing the determination there, the cold calculation that made him successful in a world where mercy equals weakness. You've changed. 8 years ago, you were still fighting against what you were becoming. Now you've accepted it completely. I had to. After Isabella died, he stops, surprised he said the name aloud. He never talks about Isabella, never lets anyone see that particular wound. Who's Isabella? Olivia asks gently. My first daughter. She died 7 years ago. Cancer. She was 6 years old. The confession hangs in the air. Olivia's expression transforms, understanding flooding through her. That's why you came so fast. When Maya texted about me being hurt, it triggered something. Maya looks like her. Same age, same fearlessness, same way of seeing the world. When I saw her in that apartment, trying to save you, I couldn't. His voice breaks slightly. I already lost one daughter. I can't lose another. Olivia reaches out, her hand finding his. The touch is tentative, years and distance between them, but still familiar. I'm sorry you lost her. And I'm sorry I kept Maya from you. I thought I was protecting her, but maybe I was just protecting myself from having to share her with someone who might love her better. You're a good mother. Maya adores you. She was terrified when you wouldn't wake up. She's a remarkable child. Smart, brave, kind. She got those things from both of us, I think. Dante feels the weight of responsibility settle across his shoulders. He has a daughter who needs him, a woman who tried to warn him, and enemies circling who see both as leverage. The old Dante, the one from 8 years ago, might have sent them away. Paid for protection somewhere far away, kept them at arm's length where they couldn't become liabilities. But that Dante died when Isabella did. This version understands that some things are worth the risk, worth the vulnerability, worth fighting to protect even if it means burning down everything else. They're not going anywhere, he says firmly. You and Maya stay here, under my protection, until the Volkovs are dealt with. That's not a request. And after? When the danger's over, do we just go back to our separate lives? I don't know, but Maya deserves to know her father. She deserves security, opportunity, a childhood that isn't defined by poverty and fear. And you deserve safety after everything you've sacrificed to raise her alone. What are you saying? I'm saying stay. Both of you. Not as prisoners or obligations, but as family. Let me figure out how to be the father I should have been all along. Let me make up for 7 years of not knowing she existed. Olivia's quiet for a long moment. This isn't a fairy tale, Dante. You can't just decide to be a different person because you've found out you have a daughter. I'm not trying to be different. I'm trying to be better. There's a distinction. Before Olivia can respond, the door opens. Maya bursts in, arms full of shopping bags, Maria following behind with even more. The child's face lights up when she sees her mother awake. Mama, you're okay. Daddy said you would be, but I was still worried. She dumps the bags on the floor and climbs carefully onto the bed. Look what Maria got me. New clothes and shoes and books, and even a tablet so I can do schoolwork. And she said tomorrow we can go get art supplies if I want. Daddy. Maya says it so naturally, as if the word was always meant for Dante, as if 7 years of absence can be erased by one night of rescue. Children are remarkably adaptable, willing to accept love wherever it appears. That sounds wonderful, baby, Olivia says, hugging her. Daughter carefully around her injured shoulder. Did you say thank you? Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Daddy. Dante's chest tightens hearing that word again. You're welcome, Maya. Can I show Mama everything I got? Maria said I could redecorate the whole room if I wanted. Can you believe that? A whole room just for me. The joy in Maya's voice is infectious. Olivia smiles despite her pain, despite the danger surrounding them, despite the impossible situation they're all navigating. Because her daughter is happy. For the first time in months, maybe years, Maya is experiencing pure childhood joy. Show me everything, Olivia says. Dante watches his daughter excitedly display her new possessions, explaining each item with the kind of detailed enthusiasm only children possess. Maria catches his eye from the doorway, gives a small nod of approval. This is what the mansion needed, what his empire lacked. Not just power and fear, but life. Laughter. Purpose beyond profit. His phone buzzes. Vincent's name appears on the screen. Dante steps into the hallway to take the call. Boss, we got a problem. Word's out about Olivia Chen. The Volkovs know she's missing, and they're offering $50,000 to anyone who can find her. They've got people canvassing hospitals, shelters, known associates. How long before they connect her to me? Already have. Someone saw you at the apartment building. Volkov's lieutenant, Alexei Kuznetsov, knows you pulled her out. He's asking for a meeting. Asking or demanding? Demanding. Says you took something that belongs to them, and they want it back. Dante's grip on the phone tightens. Tell Alexei I'll meet him. Neutral territory, his choice. Tomorrow night. Boss, do it, Vincent. And make sure our people are in position. If this meeting goes sideways, I want overwhelming force ready to respond. Understood. What about the woman and kid? Volkov knows about them now. He'll use them as leverage. That's exactly what I'm counting on. Dante ends the call. He stands in the hallway, listening to Maya's laughter from the other room, feeling the weight of decisions compounding. Meeting with Alexei means confirming the Volkov suspicions. It means escalating the conflict from shadows into open confrontation. But it also means controlling the narrative, facing the threat directly instead of waiting for it to find them. The old rules of their world dictated certain courtesies. If Alexei was calling for a meeting instead of sending assassins immediately, it meant the Volkovs weren't entirely sure they wanted war with the Moretti family. They were testing, probing, trying to determine if Dante's protection of Olivia and Maya was worth starting a blood feud that would cost both organizations dearly. Dante needs to make it clear that yes, they are worth it. Worth any cost, any war, any sacrifice. He returns to the room where his family waits. The word feels strange even in his mind. Family. He's had soldiers, allies, people bound to him through fear or profit. But family, people he died to protect, people who make him want to be more than just a criminal overlord, that's new territory. Maya is showing Olivia a book Maria bought, something about space and stars. Look, Mama, this one talks about black holes and how they bend time. Do you think if we went into a black hole, we could go back and change things? Make it so you never got hurt? Olivia smooths Maya's hair. I don't think that's how it works, baby. But maybe we don't need to change the past. Maybe we just need to make sure the future is better. Maya considers this seriously. The future where we live here with Daddy. And you get better. And nobody tries to hurt us anymore. That future sounds pretty good to me. Me too. Maya curls against her mother, careful of the injuries, and yawns. The emotional exhaustion of the past 24 hours is catching up with her. Dante watches them, mother and daughter, his family, and makes a silent vow. Whatever comes next, meetings with Russian mobsters, potential war, the complete restructuring of his organization's priorities, none of it matters more than keeping them safe. He's built an empire on fear and violence. Now he'll defend it with love and determination. And if the Volkovs think they can take his family away, they're about to learn exactly how ruthless Marco Santangelo's son can be when protecting what's his. Underscore 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 underscore. The next evening arrives too quickly. Dante has spent the day preparing, reviewing intelligence on the Volkovs, positioning his people strategically, ensuring the mansion's security is impenetrable. Olivia is recovering well, color returning to her face, though the pain medication keeps her drowsy. Maya has adapted with remarkable ease, exploring the mansion with wide-eyed wonder, asking questions about everything. She doesn't fully understand the danger yet. She's 7. In her mind, her daddy is powerful enough to fix anything. Childhood innocence wrapped around faith that adults will keep their promises. Dante intends to prove her right. You're really going to meet with them? Olivia asks from her bed. Maria is downstairs with Maya, teaching her how to make cookies. The domesticity of it feels surreal against the backdrop of impending violence. I have to. They need to understand that you and Maya are off limits. That attacking you was their biggest mistake. What if they don't care? What if they just want revenge for you interfering? Then we go to war, and I make sure we win. Olivia sits up carefully. Dante, I'm grateful you saved us. Grateful you're protecting Maya. But I need to know, is this who you'll always be? A man who solves problems with violence. Because Maya's watching, learning, and I don't want her to grow up thinking that's normal. The question is fair. Dante has been asking himself the same thing. I can't change what I am. This world, these responsibilities, they're part of me. But I can control what Maya sees, how she's raised, what values we teach her. We. Olivia repeats the word. You keep saying we. You're her mother. You've been there for 7 years while I was absent. I'm not trying to replace you or override your decisions. But I'm not walking away either. We figure this out together, or not at all. That sounds like a relationship. Does it? Dante meets her eyes. I don't know what this is, Olivia. 8 years ago, we had something real before I ended it. Now we have a daughter and a crisis and feelings I don't know how to process. But Maya needs both of us. And maybe we need each other too. Before Olivia can respond, shouting erupts from downstairs. Dante is moving instantly, gun drawn, instinct screaming danger. He races down the grand staircase to find his front entrance filled with his men, Vincent, Luca, Tommaso, all armed, all facing the door. Boss, we got a situation, Vincent says tersely. Volkov sent an advance party. They're at the gate demanding entry. Demanding? Dante's voice is ice. They're on my property at my gate, making demands? 5 vehicles. 20 men, maybe more. They say Alexei wants the meeting moved up. Tonight. Right now. Where's Maya? Kitchen with Maria. We've got guards on them. Dante processes rapidly. The Volkovs are forcing the confrontation, catching him before he can fully prepare. It's a power move, asserting dominance, showing they can dictate terms even on his territory. Bold. Arrogant. Exactly the kind of disrespect that starts wars. Tell them I'll meet with Alexei alone. 1 representative from each side. Everyone else stays outside the gates. Boss, that's suicide. You can't trust. I'm not planning to trust them. But if they wanted me dead, they'd have brought more than 20 men. This is posturing. Alexei wants to intimidate me, make me back down. I'm going to show him why that's impossible. Dante walks to his study, opens the safe, and pulls out a second gun. 2 weapons, 1 visible, 1 hidden. Enough ammunition to take down half the men at his gate if it comes to that. But hopefully it won't. Hopefully Alexei is smart enough to recognize when he's facing someone who won't blink. The front gate opens. A single vehicle rolls up the driveway, black Mercedes, tinted windows, the kind of car that screams organized crime. It parks in front of the mansion. The driver's door opens. Alexei Kuznetsov steps out. He's younger than Dante expected, maybe 35, with the kind of cold eyes that have witnessed atrocities and felt nothing. Expensive suit, gold watch, the arrogant posture of someone accustomed to people cowering before him. Dante Moretti, Alexei says, his accent thick. You're exactly what I expected. Arrogant. Foolish. About to make a fatal mistake. Alexei Kuznetsov, you're exactly what I expected too. Overconfident. Overstepping. About to learn why nobody threatens my family and lives. Alexei laughs. Your family? The nurse who's been spying on our operations? The bastard child you didn't even know existed until 2 days ago? You're willing to die for them? Without hesitation. Then you're an idiot. We could have handled this quietly. A little accident. Woman and child disappear. Nobody asks questions. But you had to play hero. Now everything becomes complicated. Dante steps closer, eliminating the distance between them. You shot the mother of my child. In front of my daughter. You terrorized a 7-year-old. And you think I'm the one making things complicated? We didn't know about the kid until after. If you had what? You would have killed them both. Eliminated witnesses. Made it clean. Dante's voice drops to barely above a whisper. Let me make something very clear, Alexei. Olivia Chun and Maya Chun are under my protection. Permanently. You touch them, you look at them, you think about them, and I will burn your entire organization to the ground. Every warehouse, every operation, every man who works for you. I will dismantle the Volkov empire piece by piece until there's nothing left but graves and regrets. Alexei's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Recognition, maybe, that he's facing someone who means every word. You're willing to start a war over a woman and child. I'm willing to end a war. Your move. The tension stretches. Behind Alexei, his drivers wait, hands near weapons. Behind Dante, his men watch from the mansion, ready to respond to any aggression. The night air feels electric, charged with potential violence. Finally, Alexei speaks. My boss, Viktor Volkov, he wants the documents. The photos your nurse took of our operations. You give us those, we forget about the woman and child. Clean slate. No deal. You haven't heard the alternative. Don't need to. The answer is still no. Alexei's jaw clenches. You're making a mistake, Moretti. Our organization has resources you can't imagine. Connections that go beyond your little Italian families. We can make you disappear without anyone asking questions. You can try. But before you do, consider this. I've been running my family's operations for 3 years. In that time, I've eliminated 7 rival factions, absorbed 4 smaller families, and tripled our profits. I didn't accomplish that by being weak or backing down from threats. You want war? I'll give you war. And when the smoke clears, the Volkov Bratva will be a cautionary tale about what happens when you threaten Dante Moretti's family. For the first time, uncertainty crosses Alexei's face. He came here expecting intimidation to work, expecting Dante to fold under pressure. Instead, he's facing someone who won't bend, won't negotiate, won't compromise. I'll take your response back to Victor, Alexei says slowly. But understand, he won't like it. I don't care what Victor likes. I care about protecting what's mine. You attack my family. That debt will be paid, with interest. Alexei turns back toward his vehicle, then pauses. The girl, Maya. She saw our men. She can identify them. That makes her a witness. A liability. That makes her untouchable, Dante corrects. Because if anything happens to her, I won't just destroy your organization. I'll make sure everyone in your chain of command dies slowly, publicly as an example. Victor included. You'd start a war that costs thousands of lives over one child, without hesitation. She's my daughter. What did you expect? Alexei studies him for a long moment, then nods slowly. Something like respect crosses his features. You're either the bravest man I've ever met, or the stupidest. Maybe both. But I'm the man standing between you and my family. Remember that. The Mercedes pulls away, disappearing down the driveway. The gates close behind it. Dante stands in the night air, adrenaline slowly fading, awareness of what he just committed to settling in his chest. War. Open warfare with one of the most dangerous criminal organizations on the East Coast. All because a 7-year-old texted the wrong number and called him daddy. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Vincent appears at his side. Boss, that was either brilliant or insane. I'm not sure which. Neither am I. But it's done. Get our people ready. The Volkovs will strike back, probably within 48 hours. I want every operation fortified, every weakness secured, every man prepared for what's coming. And the woman and kid? They don't leave this property until it's over. 24-hour security on them both. If the Volkovs somehow breach our defenses, Maya and Olivia are the priority. Get them out safely, even if it means abandoning everything else. Understood. Vincent hesitates. Boss, I've known you since we were kids. I've never seen you like this. What those two mean to you? Everything, Dante interrupts. They mean everything. And I'll burn the whole world down to keep them safe. He returns to the mansion where Maria is putting Maya to bed. The child is exhausted from the day's excitement, already half asleep when Dante enters the room. "Daddy!" Her voice is drowsy. "Are we safe here?" Dante sits on the edge of her bed, smoothing her hair. "Yes, little bird. You're safe. I promise. The men outside, the ones who hurt Mama, they can't get in here. They can't get in. And even if they tried, I'd stop them." Maya's eyes are already closing. "I'm glad I texted you. I'm glad you're my daddy." The simple faith in her words breaks something in Dante. This child trusts him completely, believes he can protect her from anything. He can't let her down. "I'm glad too, Maya. Sleep now. Everything's going to be okay." He waits until her breathing evens out, then returns to Olivia's room. She's awake, clearly having heard some of the confrontation downstairs. "That was the Volkovs?" she asks. "Their representative, making threats, demanding the documents, trying to intimidate me. What did you tell them? That you and Maya are off limits? That threatening my family was their fatal mistake?" Olivia closes her eyes. "You really did it. You started a war over us. I ended their ability to hurt you. There's a difference. Dante, I'm terrified. Not for myself, but for Maya. What if something happens to you? What if they get past your security? What if—" He crosses to the bed, taking her hand. "Nothing will happen to either of you. I've spent 3 years building an empire specifically so I'd have the resources to protect what matters. You matter. Maya matters. And I don't care what it costs to keep you safe." "Why?" Olivia searches his face. "You barely know us. 7 years of absence, and suddenly you're willing to risk everything?" "Because Maya's mine. Because when I found out I had a daughter, everything else became secondary. And because—" he hesitates, then continues. "Because 8 years ago, I walked away from you thinking it was the smart move. Thinking protecting you meant letting you go. I was wrong, and I won't make that mistake again." Tears spill down Olivia's cheeks. "I never stopped thinking about you. Even after you ended things. Even when I was pregnant and alone. Even when I was struggling to raise Maya by myself. Part of me always wondered what would have happened if things had been different. Maybe we get a chance to find out. After this is over, after the Volkovs are dealt with, maybe we figure out what this could be. A relationship between a criminal and a nurse? With a 7-year-old watching. A family. Unconventional, complicated, built on a foundation of mistakes and second chances. But still family." Olivia squeezes his hand. "I hope you're right. I hope we survive this. Because Maya deserves to know her father. And maybe I deserve a second chance at us too." Dante leans forward, pressing his lips to her forehead. Not quite a kiss, but close enough to promise. "We'll survive, and then we'll build something worth surviving for." Outside, his men patrol the grounds. Security cameras scan every approach. The fortress he built to protect his criminal empire now shelters the only people who make that empire mean something. The Volkovs think they're fighting for territory and power and respect. They don't understand they're actually fighting a father who just discovered he has a daughter. A man who spent 7 years grieving one child and won't lose another. They're going to learn. Soon. And when they do, the balance of power in the entire East Coast underworld will shift permanently. The attack comes 3 days later, just before dawn. 20 men breach the outer perimeter using explosives and cutting equipment that should have been impossible to acquire. Someone inside Dante's organization gave them the security codes. Someone betrayed him. Alarms scream through the mansion. Dante is moving before he's fully awake, grabbing weapons, racing toward Maya's room. She's already sitting up, eyes wide with fear but not panic. 3 days of living here has taught her that her father prepares for everything. "Daddy, stay with me." He scoops her up with one arm, keeping his gun ready with the other. Down the hall, Olivia emerges from her room, still weak but mobile. Maria appears with Vincent, both armed. "East Wing is compromised," Vincent reports. "They're coming through the garden entrance. We've got maybe 2 minutes. Safe room. Now." They move as a unit through corridors Dante has memorized for exactly this scenario. Behind hidden panels lies a reinforced bunker with supplies, communications equipment, and an escape tunnel that leads 3 miles away. He'll get his family to safety, then deal with the Volkovs permanently. Gunfire erupts below. His men are buying time with their lives. Dante's jaw clenches, but he doesn't stop moving. Maya buries her face in his shoulder. Olivia keeps pace despite the pain in her healing shoulder. The safe room door is ahead. 20 feet. 10. Alexei Kuznetsov steps from a side corridor, gun raised. Going somewhere, Moretti. Dante shifts, putting himself between the weapon and his family. His own gun comes up in fluid motion. Two predators facing each other, both knowing only one walks away. Last chance, Dante says coldly. Leave now and I let you live. Alexei laughs. You're surrounded, outgunned. And you're offering me mercy? I'm offering you survival. Turn around, walk away, and this ends with just your men dead. Stay, and I make sure Viktor Volkov loses his best lieutenant and his entire operation. Big talk from a man about to die. Then shoot. But know that the moment you do, my men activate a dead man's switch. Every piece of evidence about your trafficking operation goes to the FBI, the DEA, and every news outlet in the country. Your empire collapses within hours. Alexei's confidence wavers. You're bluffing. Am I? Your boss already knows I'm not stupid enough to take you on without insurance. Why do you think he sent you instead of coming himself? He's using you to test whether I'm desperate enough to destroy us both. The calculation plays across Alexei's face. Behind him, footsteps approach, reinforcements. But Dante's men are rallying too, closing the trap he'd set weeks ago in preparation for exactly this scenario. Tell Victor this is his last warning, Dante continues. Leave my family alone, and your operation continues. Come for us again, and I burn everything. His choice. For a long moment, the world holds its breath. Then Alexei lowers his weapon slowly. This isn't over. Yes, Dante says quietly. It is. You just don't know it yet. Alexei retreats, calling his men back. The attack dissolves as quickly as it began. Dante waits until the last vehicle clears his gates before allowing himself to breathe. Maya lifts her head from his shoulder. You scared him away, without even fighting. Sometimes the smartest fight is the one you don't have. He sets her down gently, checking her for injuries despite knowing she's fine. Are you okay, little bird? I'm okay. You promised to keep us safe, and you did. Olivia leans against the wall, exhaustion and relief warring across her face. Did you really have evidence? Or was that a bluff? Both. I have enough to damage them severely, but not destroy them completely. But Alexei doesn't know that. And Victor won't risk finding out. So it's over. They'll leave us alone. They'll leave you alone. They'll come for me eventually, but by then I'll be ready. Vincent appears, breathing hard. We lost 3 men. 5 wounded. But we held them. Take care of the families. Triple the usual compensation. And find the traitor who gave them our security codes. Already have. Marco. He was working with the Volkovs the whole time. Marco. The same man Dante had been planning to punish for stealing. The betrayal cuts deeper, knowing it endangered his daughter. Handle it, Dante says. The order carries the weight of execution. Days blur into weeks. The Volkovs withdraw, focusing on protecting their own operations rather than pursuing vendetta. The evidence Dante threatens to release keeps them at bay. An uneasy peace settles. Maya enrolls in private school. She thrives, making friends, bringing home artwork that gets displayed on the refrigerator. Dante attends every parent-teacher conference, every school play, learning to be a father in real time. Olivia heals, physically first, then emotionally. She watches Dante with Maya, sees the gentleness beneath the violence, the love underneath the ruthlessness. Slowly, carefully, they rebuild what was broken 8 years ago. 3 months after that terrible night, Dante finds Olivia in the garden. The evening sun turns everything golden. She's reading, peaceful in ways she never was in Red Hook. She's inside doing homework. Olivia says without looking up. Maria's helping. Dante sits beside her. I've been thinking. Dangerous habit. About us. About what happens next. Olivia sets down her book. What do you want to happen? I want you to stay. Both of you. Not as guests or people under protection. As family. As mine. I'm not one of your possessions, Dante. I know. That's why I'm asking, not telling. Stay because you want to. Stay because maybe we could be something real. Olivia studies his face. You really have changed. The man I knew 8 years ago would never have asked. He would have demanded. The man you knew 8 years ago didn't have a daughter who taught him that some things are worth fighting for, and some things require patience. She smiles. Maya does have that effect. So what do you say? Olivia takes his hand, threading their fingers together. I say yes. We stay. We try. We see what happens when a nurse, a Mafia boss, and their remarkable daughter try to build something that shouldn't work but somehow does. Inside, Maya's laughter echoes. The sound that started everything. The text message sent to a wrong number that became the right one. Dante kisses Olivia softly, tasting possibility and hope and futures that seemed impossible 3 months ago. They have scars, both visible and hidden. They have enemies, though fewer now. They have complications that most families never face. But they have each other. And sometimes that's enough. Maya appears at the door. Mama! Daddy! Come see what I made. They walk inside together. A family formed from text messages and gunshot wounds, from wrong numbers that became right answers, from danger that transformed into love. The mansion that was once a fortress becomes a home. And the man who built an empire on fear learns that the strongest power comes from the smallest hands reaching for his. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you love the story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.